Welcome to Spybrary, by spy fans, for spy fans, with Shane Whaley. Shane dives into the mystery and intrigue of spy books and movies, both fact and fiction, delivering reviews and interviews with authors, historians, intelligence experts, and spy fans. He discusses everything from John le Carré, Len Dayton, Ian Fleming, Tom Clancy, Brad Thor, and many more. If you love spy books and movies, keep listening. This podcast is for you. This is Spybrary.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 69 of the Spybrary Podcast. Today, I'm bringing you a brush pass. We've just received the transmission. It's just been decoded, and it's been sent in by a great supporter and friend of the show, Mr. John Koenig. Those of you who are on the Facebook group know John very well, because John is a bit like that character in All Quiet on the Western Front. I forget his name, but he was played by Ernest Borgnine, where they'll be in the middle of nowhere, a battlefield, trenches, desolate, and Borgnine will turn up. They're starving, hungry, and Borgnine will turn up with, 3 chickens and a bottle of whiskey that he's found and foraged somewhere. Koenig is an expert forager when it comes to searching for used spy novels. And he scours the Midwest on his travels, and he posts pictures of his hauls on our Facebook group. And they really are it's amazing to see what he's finding out there. Okay, it's even more amazing to see the guy's Spybrary. We're all green with envy. Got a picture up recently. He was reorganizing his Spybrary, and it's like every Spybrarian's dream. But this is Spybrary. We're always really pleased when a fellow aficionado gets his mitts on these excellent books. So John has kindly sent us in a brush pass review, and this is really cool. This is what I really want on Spybrary, okay? This is your show. This is a collaboration between us, fans of the spy genre. So please don't feel you have to have a radio voice and a wonderful, expansive vocabulary. You don't. The whole premise with brush pass is, let's say I bump into you in a bar, maybe at an airport somewhere. You're like, yeah, you're Shane from Spybrary. Oh, have you read such and such? And we have a good natter about it. That's what Brush Pass is about, okay? This really is 5-minute, 10-minute, just chat with us, tell us what you thought about a book, okay? Whether you liked it, hated it, we'd love to hear. So John is actually, in his words, talking about 2 books from the golden age of spies and espionage, and they are Button Zone by Greatorex and Chess Player by Pearson. 2 novels I am not familiar with, both written in the early 80s. So I'm really excited to hear what John made of these 2 books. And like I say, when you hear today's Brush Pass, go back and take a listen to a few. You can find links to all of the Brush Passes at spybrary.com/69. That's where you'll find the links to today's books as well, and to John's blog, and a link to the Facebook group, because it really is worth joining so you can see what John posts. If nothing else, join to see his hauls. I'm telling you, they're tremendous. The only problem with Koenig, he's got a problem with Sir Roger. Can you believe that? He doesn't like Sir Roger's portrayal as James Bond, but I'm going to sort that out. I'm going to see him in Chicago. We're going to have a bottle of good bourbon between us, and we'll get to the bottom of this, because Sir Roger is the best. Okay, I'll shut up. Without further ado, let's cross over to Mr. John Koenig.
You are listening to Brush Pass on Spybrary. Quick reviews sent in by spy fans for spy fans.
It's a brush pass, quick and simple.
Spybrarians, I'm temporarily between coffee shops and thrift stores, and I want to tell you about 2 books that I've recently read that I think you would enjoy. One is called Button Zone, written by Wilfred Greatorex. The other is Chess Player by William Pearson. These 2 excellent spy novels transported me back in time to what some would take the golden age of spies and espionage. Each of these books date from 1984, well before anyone contemplated the Berlin Wall coming down. This time period is the height of tense Cold War relations between the Soviet Union and the West, notably England and the United States. Wilfred Greatorex was a scriptwriter and editor with a long career beginning in the 60s and ending in the 1980s. Among his accomplishments most likely familiar to Spybrarians are the TV series Secret Army in 1990. He also penned the screenplay for the classic 1969 movie The Battle of Britain. After his death in 2002, the Guardian newspaper described him as one of the most prolific and assured of television scriptwriters and editors from the 1960s into the 80s. William Pearson is more of a mystery to me. He loved the game of chess enough that he wrote serious books on the topic. A few other of his novels appear to be mysteries, but Chess Player was nominated for an Edgar Award, seems to be his only take on the world of spies. Oh, man, I wish he'd written more in the genre. As far as I can determine, Pearson is still alive. He's 97 years old now. Each of these books are excellent. They're well worth searching out, and when you find them, they'll be inexpensive. Chess Player centers around George Malkin. He's a senior intelligence officer. His roots are in the OSS. Now he's in the upper echelons of the CIA. The most dangerous and critical assignment of his career, the basis of the book, is to determine the identity of a foreign intelligence agent, a mole in U.S. intelligence, codenamed Chess Player. Simultaneously in Moscow, Chess Player's handler, Igor Dmitriyev, struggles to convince his Soviet intelligence mucky-mucks of the viability of his deeply planted agent. Pearson displays a real deep, penetrating knowledge of how the spy agencies of the era operated. He's well-versed in tradecraft, protocol, language, and the cultures of American and Russian intelligence. It shows on each page, in his dialogue, in brush passes and dead drops and meetings. The pacing, mystery, and phenomenal characterization in Chess Player is superior. Tension ratchets up throughout the story. And at several points, when I thought I'd figured out who Chess Player was, turns out I wasn't even close. Button Zone features a mole as well. This spy is a member of the inner circle around the United States president. This is known as the Button Zone. Russia has devised an ambitious plan to invade and conquer Europe, all of it, using Warsaw Pact maneuvers to disguise their intent until it's too late. Where the premise of the book swings away from the traditional military what-if is the mole in the United States government. Placed long ago by the Russians, this sleeper agent will assassinate the leader of the U.S. and the other government officials around that person before nuclear retaliation against Russia's invasion can happen. Timing is everything in this story. The weight of this mission falls upon British intelligence, as the Brits figured out what's happening, but they're afraid to alert the CIA or any other American agency because they don't know who the traitor is. Elaborate spycraft threads throughout Button Zone. Safe houses, layers of spies, hundreds of Russian sleeper agents in the States, and rising tension accompany the highest of stakes. This flows through every page. Who can trust anyone? Each of these books is a damn nicely written time capsule. Button Zone dangles nuclear Armageddon as the catastrophic potential finale. What could typify the 1980s Cold War more effectively? Chess Player is about relationships within intelligence agencies and between them. Firearms, car chases, smartphones, satellites, drones, and massive computer banks play no role in either of these stories. These are classic spy tales. They feature memorable characters, vivid events, and as much tradecraft as can be realistically packed into a single book. That's all I have for you today. Find these books, Button Zone, Chess Player, read them and enjoy them. I'm signing out from Cold Station W.
Can you pull off a brush pass? Send in your review to shane@spybrary.com.
Thanks for listening to the Spybrary Podcast. You don't have to wait for the next episode. Join the conversation happening now at facebook.com/Spybrary and on Twitter @Spybrary.